Basin City, where the rain never washes away the stench of blood. Marv is no hero. He's a monster born out of time. A giant with a deformed face, he spent his life accustomed to nothing but looks of revulsion, until he met Goldie, the only woman in this world who treated him like a human being. That night he thought he had found paradise, but paradise crumbled all too fast. The next morning Marv woke up, his hand touching a cold corpse. Goldie was dead. The police sirens tore through the air outside the hotel window, and Marv knew instantly. He had been framed. Instead of running like a rat, the monster within him woke up. He tore through the night of Basin City, crushing anyone in his way just to find the truth. The blood-stained trail led him to the Rourke farm, the most powerful family in the city. There, he faced Kevin, a twisted assassin who moved like a ghost, with hollow, soulless eyes. The brutal, raw confrontation was inevitable, and it ended when Kevin was torn apart. But the truth was even more sickening. The man behind it all was a revered cardinal of the city, a man wearing the mask of a saint, believing that devouring women would bring him closer to God. Marv didn't say much. He broke into the mansion and delivered justice the only way he knew how: ruthless, decisive, and without mercy. In the end, Marv was caught. He walked calmly to the electric chair. No resistance, no fear. As thousands of volts surged through his flesh, he didn't scream, and he didn't regret. He died for one thing only: to protect the memory of the only woman who ever loved him. Basin City has no room for those seeking redemption. Dwight McCarthy knows this all too well. He tried to bury his past, living a quiet life away from the chaos, away from the man he used to be. But trouble always has a way of finding him. It started with Jackie Boy, a corrupt cop with a badge full of filth. He and his gang crossed the line with Shelley, the woman Dwight was protecting. Dwight said nothing. He simply trailed them into Old Town, a lawless land, a kingdom of death where the girls protect their own with lead and cold steel. Then, a fatal mistake was made. Jackie Boy was taken down by the girls of Old Town, swift, merciless. But they didn't know he was a high-ranking officer. If that corpse is found, the threadbare truce between the police and Old Town will snap. And when it does, a massacre will be inevitable. Dwight had no choice. He took on the job of disposing of the evidence. It was a suffocating race through the night. Dwight had to evade the police manhunt while fending off predators, ruthless mercenaries ready to kill just to take Jackie Boy's head as a trophy. The night grew thick. The air tasted of iron and sulfur. Everything reached a breaking point in a narrow alley in the heart of Old Town. Miho, the silent assassin, emerged like a ghost. Her blades were faster than light, sharper than a dying thought. Dwight was no longer the old man, but not yet the new. He was something caught in between, a state of conscious rage. The alley turned into a slaughterhouse. Bullets tore the wind, blood painted the walls. The scream of clashing metal was the only voice this city had left. No one survived. Finally, an explosion ripped through the night, incinerating the body, burning away every shred of proof. Dwight stood there in silence, lighting a cigarette, a tiny spark in the crushing. Love, sometimes, is as toxic as a glass of wine laced with viper venom. This is the story of Dwight McCarthy, before he wore a different face. The tragedy began when Ava Lord, his former flame, reappeared out of the shadows. Ava possessed the beauty of a lost angel. With tear-filled eyes, she begged Dwight to save her from the brutal torment of her billionaire husband, Damian Lord. Dwight knew Ava was a liar. He knew she was dangerous. But standing before that lethal beauty, he was pulled back in. Dwight became a blind pawn in her game. He lunged into the darkness, killing Damian with his own hands, believing he was rescuing a woman in need. But the moment the billionaire collapsed, Ava's mask fell with him. She sneered, coldly pumping bullets into Dwight's chest, before calling the police to pin the entire slaughter on him. Betrayed and broken, Dwight narrowly escaped, with a face torn to shreds. With Marv's help, Dwight underwent a grueling surgery to take on a completely new identity. He returned from the dead, not to love, but to finish what was started. He broke into Ava's estate. Once again, the manipulative siren tried to use her beauty and her honeyed words to bend his will. But this time, Dwight was wide awake. In a room swallowed by shadows, Dwight pulled the trigger. The gunshot shattered the night, ending the life of the woman he once loved more than life itself. A bloody conclusion to a chapter of hatred and mistakes that can never be undone. Some men are born to be cops. Hartigan was one of them. He was the last flickering spark of integrity, gasping for air in a city rotting to its core. On his final day before retirement, a call came through. An 11-year-old girl kidnapped. The monster responsible was none other than Rourke Jr., the twisted golden boy of Basin City's most powerful senator. Hartigan didn't hesitate. He charged straight into the lion's den. Bullets flew, blood spilled. He tore through them all just to save one child. But in this city, doing the right thing always comes with a price. Hartigan was betrayed, shot by his own partner. He collapsed and was thrown into prison, framed for the filthiest crime imaginable, child molestation. 8 years in the dark, 8 years of a broken body and a crushed spirit. Yet Hartigan never spoke a word. He would rather rot in that cell than reveal Nancy's sanctuary. Until one day, an anonymous package arrived. Inside, a human finger. Hartigan knew the girl was in danger. The old lion finally woke up. He walked out of prison to face his nightmare once again. The final battle took place at a desolate farm. Hartigan, with a body held together by sheer will, stood his ground. He squeezed every last drop of strength to crush the yellow bastard once more. The monster died in agonizing pain. But Hartigan knew it wasn't over. The Rourke clan would never stop, especially not after Nancy. So he made a choice with no way back. In the middle of the bone-chilling white snow, a single dry gunshot rang out. Hartigan took his own life. His blood stained the snow crimson. He traded his life to protect another, to secure a future for the one he loved. The ultimate sacrifice doesn't need to be remembered. It only needs to matter. He walked into the casino with a crooked smirk and a streak of luck that couldn't be tamed. Johnny's goal was clear: to sit at the same table and bring down Senator Rourke, the man who saw himself as the supreme god of this city. And Johnny did it. He beat him, not once, but hand after hand, in front of 100 witnesses. It wasn't just about the money. It was a direct slap to Rourke's pride and his absolute power. The price of arrogance is never cheap. The senator went mad with rage. His thugs dragged Johnny into a dark alleyway. Finger by finger, they broke him. They shattered his legs with lead. Then they tossed him onto the curb like a bag of trash. But Rourke underestimated his prey. Johnny didn't run. Squeezing the last bit of strength from his broken body, with a single blood-stained coin, he crawled his way back to that card table. This time, he didn't bet with money. He gambled with his life. And once again, Johnny won. The senator's face turned pale with humiliation. Before the final shot echoed, Johnny smiled and spat out a truth that the old man couldn't escape. He was Rourke's own son. Johnny didn't come for the fortune. He came to prove that Rourke could own everything, but he would never, ever defeat his own blood. Johnny fell, a death full of defiance, leaving behind nothing but a legacy of shame and a psychological scar that will never, ever heal.